All right, folks, what is going on? This is episode 646 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern, Atlanta Falcons football. And I will get to Georgia Southern later on this week. But since it's Monday and I was at the Falcons game when they played the Bengals this weekend, I want to extend my thoughts on this game to Desmond Ritter. So I want to give my thoughts and opinions after the first drive. How do I really feel after sitting back and understanding what he did and what I saw in person? Not only just on the stats, but what like I said, like what I really saw in person. Because I've been watching a lot of things in this entire except for one play I didn't look at, and it was the last play, to be honest with you. But I want to let you know what I thought watching him on the field, and and we'll just go from there. So if this is your first time here, welcome. I could be found on YouTube and Rumble. I'm also on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, and the Google Podcast. Now, in a few days, Stitcher will be going down, and you will not be able to listen to the show on Stitcher. I am in the works of getting a podcast avenue in place of Stitcher. Hopefully, it works out. Just have to, do some business or whatever the case may be. Hopefully, that works out. But nevertheless, we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. If you find yourself on the podcast avenue, I highly recommend it. You could be your own program manager and you're able to, basically listen to the show at your leisure. Other than that, I welcome you if you're on any of these platforms. I thank you very much. I cannot thank you guys enough for the support, and I really appreciate it. I'm also on X at VF Baller, and the website is firstandframerates.com. You can go over there and support the show and find the other avenues that you can listen to the show. All right, let's just go ahead and get into this. That night, I went to the game. I told myself I was going to go to the game and watch the Falcons play Cincinnati. I really thought that Desmond Ritter was going to play more than what he did. Honestly, I thought he was going to play maybe two series, maybe three. I was hoping a whole quarter, but he only played one drive. And the drive wasn't too bad. It was actually a pretty solid drive. It did end with the interception, which we'll talk about that shortly. But before that, I watched Desmond Ritter come out onto the field, and just watching and observing him. And if you guys don't think this kid can be QB1, I think you guys are mistaken. I really believe that this guy could be QB1 easily. He does not seem nervous. He does not look like he is too big for the moment. He looks like he's prepared. As he was going around talking to other teammates, talking to the refs, talking to his coaches, and he just looked like he was supposed to be. He came off as a guy that he knew that he was supposed to be the guy in this moment to be the guy to lead this team. And I think that's what Coach Arthur Smith been looking for out of Desmond Ritter. And it's really amazing when you just watch and observe. And you all listen to the press conferences. We look at the little clips in practice. We actually look at some clips, from last year. But when you see him in person and you just watch, like, when somebody wants to take charge and somebody who wants to take advantage of the opportunity that they have. And this is something that he has been doing. And like I said, this is where you're going to see him evolve. He's going to continue to get better. He's going to continue to push forward. He's going to continue to be the guy that he wants to be. Now, does that lead to success? I can't sit here and say that for sure, but he's taking the opportunity to be quarterback one. And that's all that you can ask for at the end of the day. And I'm really, really happy that we have a guy who wants to take charge, the guy that wants to be the guy. Now, watching him on the field, watching what he's done, I'm really impressed by that as well. If you really look at the stats, it was a really good outing. 7-9 for 80 yards, 8.9 yards average per pass. He also had one interception. Now, that gives him a 64.1 passer rating. Now, when you look at the interception, everybody's saying this defensive pass interference. Now, for me, this is the play that I didn't look at. For some reason, I was looking on the opposite side of the field, looking to see what was going on over there when the pass was thrown. That's why I thought it was Mac Hollins that it bounced off his chest, but no, it was Scotty Miller. With that being said, it was, a lot of people said that it was pass interference. It was blatant pass interference. And it was not called. So what do you do with that? Well, I'm not going to sit here and say that it was on, Desmond Ritter. I mean, it's not fair to him. I mean, why would I say it was on him when the ball, even if it wasn't pass interference, the ball got to the player, I mean, the thing about it is the ball hits you in the chest, you got to catch it at the end of the day. That's how I feel, but there's circumstances that happen where it don't happen. But outside of that, let's backtrack a little bit. Throughout the entire drive, it looked like he was on point. I mean, he threw a pass to Drake London that looked really good over the top jump ball. Looked like those guys have been working on stuff like that for the longest. And I say that because he threw the ball where he know Drake London can get it. It's not knowing, where only the receiver can get it. That's one thing. But he threw it where only Drake London can get it where Drake London wants it. And it looked like a really good pass. Kyle Pitts, nice pass to him as well. Mac Hollins, another good catch. Bijan Robinson looked like the way him and Bijan Robinson was moving on the field, especially Bijan Robinson, looked like he's been an NFL star from day one. Looked like he's been an NFL professional from day one. The way he ran the ball, the way he caught the ball. Now, it was a really good thing to see from Bijan Robinson, which, you can make a whole nother episode on him. But like I said, with Desmond Ritter, it seemed like this is what he prepared himself for this. And this is what you want out of your quarterback. You want a quarterback that is prepared to do these type of things, prepared to play this position, prepared to put himself in the position to be successful. And with the stat line that he had, you really can't knock it. He also ran for 7 yards, which one of those runs could have been a touchdown, if, he took off a little bit sooner. So it overall, and I think, there's room for improvement. There's a couple of passes that was thrown behind a couple of players, and I think that's one thing that he's been kind of struggling with for a while now. Maybe that's something he needs to tighten up through repetition. He needs to tighten up through that. But outside of that, the passes were completed. So it's not much you can really say something ain't right, something's wrong. And there was one play that they threw it was like a de facto screen pass where this pass was to Bijan Robinson, which should have been a touchdown. That was our touchdown, and they called it back. It was a really good-looking play, and unfortunately, it didn't count. But overall, I think Desmond Ritter has shown and proved that he's going to be all right. I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to be one of the elite quarterbacks, whatever the case may be, but he didn't show me anything to say that he's not the guy. Now, you saw what Taylor Heineke done. You saw what Logan Woodside done. Those guys were put in pretty good positions to be successful as well. But I just feel right now, I think Desmond Ritter has the chance to, be the guy. With him actually, having a slightly higher completing percentage, average yard per pass. He drove the ball downfield pretty well. Even Taylor Heineke did a pretty good job. I can't take that from him. But he was more, I ain't gonna say it was game manager-esque. It was Taylor Heineke. And Taylor Heineke does a good job of playing ball. And if he ended up being QB1 by some circumstances sometime in the season, it's not that much of a drop-off. To be honest, these two guys play very similar, Heineke and Desmond Ritter. So that's, something to hang your hat on. Logan Woodside, I will say this. Logan Woodside looked good against the Dolphins. And at the end of the game, he looked good as well. Went 4 for 6 for 58 yards. Could have had a touchdown. But, so all three of these quarterbacks do look pretty decent. You really can't, there's not much you can say about them to be like, yeah, I'm kind of iffy on them. I think Desmond Ritter did a pretty good job. And I think at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for after one drive. I mean, for me, I'm not saying that he's going to be the guy that's going to take Atlanta across the hump because, the fill Matt Ryan's shoes those are big shoes to fill. And a lot of people who didn't, respect or didn't like Matt Ryan's game are starting to realize that, because Desmond Ritter has an uphill battle because, Matt Ryan's going to be a Hall of Famer. Regardless of what has happened in his career is good enough to be a Hall of Famer. And Desmond Ritter got a lot of, he had a lot of ways to go to get to that point. But as of right now, one drive, I can't hang my hat on it too much, but I will say it didn't look bad at all. I think he did a really good job of getting himself acclimated. And I'm not just saying what his play was like on the field. Like I said, prior to the game, his demeanor, his his attitude, the way that he went to other teammates and wanted to be the guy that actually, show that he's a quarterback, he's a leader, and he's letting people know that, hey, y'all all right, y'all good, you this, you ready to go, let's get it, do this, do that. And, it's just one of those things that you want out of a quarterback. You don't want a quarterback that's a little timid, kind of standoffish, trying to do his own thing and doing his own reps. No, he was with the team, and he was out there actually, showing that he is quarterback one. And that's all that you would really want. And I loved every bit of it. I loved every bit of it. I was happy I was able to see it in person because, like I said before I get out of here, we always see the clips. We always see the press conferences. We always see the little things in practice, this, that, and the third, the good, bad, and the ugly. But to actually go out there and see him, for a pregame, and wish I could have saw him more play football on the field. But just to see him out there, it showed you that he has something about him that he really wants to be that guy. And it seems like it's going to work out. So that's all I got on for you guys. If you like this commentary, hit the like button, share this podcast, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you guys think after watching Ritter on One Drive. Been watching this on TV. So what do you think? If you was at the game, what do you think as well? I think it was a pretty good look. I think he looked good, and I think it worked out. So I can be found on Spotify, Stitcher, Apple, Google Podcasts, also on YouTube and Rumble. Hit me up on X at VFBaller. Follow me over there, and the website is firstandframerace.com. I'm going to attend to my son. He's coming in here. I think he wants me for something. If you're watching on the show, you probably see the door opening and closing. That's him. He loves to get my attention. But, that's what kids do, right? Yeah, we know how it is. All right, y'all. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys on Tuesday. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. All right, y'all. Y'all take it easy, and y'all be blessed. Peace.